All right, everyone, welcome back. So on the day that Patrice Bergeron retires, well, it's no better day than to make Bruins fans even more sad and look at their prospect pool or their future. Because I'll be honest with you, it's not the best prospect pool in the world. It really isn't. But for some reason, I like it. I don't know why. I like some of these guys they have in the system here. And if everything goes right, these guys could be solid NHLers for sure. Now, the one that is profiled to be the most hyped up and probably will make his debut this coming season is Fabian Lysell, or Lysell, I'm not sure how to say it. Right wing from Göteborg, Sweden, 5'11", 176 pounds. He had a pretty good year with Province. And definitely, he's been a guy who's been hyped up since he was drafted as that player who will come up, be a solid top six winger with the Boston Bruins. And it looks like he will do that this coming season for them. But he won the TV Puck and Gold in 1819. Not sure what that is. That's probably a Swedish league tournament. Won the J18 SM Gold in 1819 as well. He was drafted 21st overall in 2021. If everything goes right, that could be a steal for Boston. He played 54 games this past year with Province, had 14 goals, 23 assists for 37 points. I think he had a great season overall with Province, and really, it goes to show that he's been taking those steps in development. And yes, the numbers in Sweden are a bit of a concern. I am concerned about them, but I'm not too worried about them. I was more worried about, his numbers with his OHL team or his junior team. That was what I was more worried about. But the numbers with Sweden are a little bit concerning, but sometimes players go through slumps and it happens. But I like Lysell a lot there as a player. And I like it a lot there as a guy, and he will fight for an NHL spot at camp. And I think there's a lot more competition there than people may think. There might just be. So honestly, I like Lysell a lot there as a player. 5'11", 176 pounds. I almost forgot to mention that. So yeah, he's a great forward there, and probably the best in the Bruins pool. Now you move into the guys who people don't really know. These are guys that I don't really know. I don't know who Georgi Merkulov is, if I'm saying that right. But he is a guy who actually is a sleeper. And he's a player who actually had a really good year in Province. A better year than Lysell, in fact, in just a few more games. Center/wing from Ryazan, Russia. 5'11", 181 pounds. He was actually unsigned and undrafted and got signed by Boston to an ELC. And he's proved to be a pretty big steal there for the Bruins, as this year with Province, his first season, he had a really good year. He played 67 games, had 24 goals, 31 assists for 55 points. That's really good numbers. Like you look at AHL numbers, like numbers in the AHL aren't really good to come by. You don't see players that are playing like over a point per game. It's not common in the AHL. So seeing a guy get that many points in his rookie season is pretty notable. And he could be a player that, if everything goes right, he could be a good top six forward with Boston. But I'm not going to jump too far ahead there. I'm not trying to be a biased Boston fan, which I'm not even a Boston fan. But he could really be a player who, if he was taller, could be a solid NHLer, probably could pan out to be a good middle six forward. He's a consistent threat 5v5 and on the power play, so he's good in both areas there. And apparently he has an NHL caliber shot, which makes sense why he put up almost 25 goals in the AHL. So definitely a guy who will also fight for a spot there and could get a spot in the lineup. But I think he definitely makes his NHL debut this coming season, then at least get some games under his belt. And of course, we'll see how Merkulov does with the Bruins. Matthew Poitras is up next as another guy there. I know who this guy was. I wasn't unfamiliar with him, but I just didn't know his stats. Center from Brooklyn, Canada, 5'11", 172 pounds. I just realized a lot of these guys are 5'11". That's actually kind of strange. But yeah, all the forwards are 5'11", so in case it's a thing with Boston. Drafted 54th overall in 2022. I believe he is signed to his ELC, so he probably will come over and play for Province soon. 63 games played this past year with the Guelph Storm. Had 16 goals, 79 assists for 95 points. Those are good numbers for very high-scoring leagues there in the WHL, the OHL, and the KHL, or the QMJHL. So not uncommon to really see those numbers, but still, it is good to see that. He balances risk and reward very well. He changes his pace on incoming pressure. I'm not really sure what that means. But it means that he's probably good defensively, if that means anything. I probably sound like an idiot right now, but he looks like he could be a solid player. And I know people are going, and I know with Bergeron retiring this past year too, people are looking at the prospects and saying, oh, well, what player can replace Bergeron? None of these guys can replace Bergeron. None of them. None of these guys are at that level. Nobody in the pool right now, I would say, is at that level. But Poitras could be a solid, second, third line. And hey, the Bruins are not that deep down the middle. They really are. Pavel Zacha is their best center. So really, guys like Poitras and even Merkulov are going to get a real shot at playing a center position with Boston this coming season. They definitely will. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Moving into the defensive prospects, you got Mason Lohrei. I believe I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm not, but defenseman from Madison, USA, 6'4", 209 pounds, and he had a breakout year with the University of Ohio. And he's a player who honestly is probably the best in their pool. I've seen rankings where he's number one, above Lysell and above all these other guys I'm talking about here. Drafted 58th overall in 2020. He played 5 games with the Providence Bruins this past year, so after college was over, he did come over, but he led them to the quarterfinals, and he played 40 games, had 4 goals, 28 assists for 32 points. That's really good there for Boston. And in a team with Boston, it's like a defensive powerhouse. It's great to have another defenseman there rising up in the pool. And he has the potential, and I've been seeing this in a few articles I read, the potential to be a top 4 defenseman. So that's something huge there for Boston. Like, him and Lysell are probably the 2 best prospects in that pool. Outside of that, it's pretty shallow, if we're being honest. But yeah, Lohrei, I'm very high on him. I hope he makes his debut this coming season. I think he for sure will. I believe he's going to come over and just play in the NHL or the AHL. I don't believe he's going to go for another year in college. I could be wrong, but as of now, that's all I know. The other defensive prospect is not well known at all. I didn't know who this guy was. Frederic Brunet. Defenseman from Gatineau, Canada, 6'2", 285 pounds. Drafted 132nd overall in 2022. So, of course, he's played there in the QMJHL, where he played 66 games, had 16 goals, 57 assists for 73 points with the Racemic Oceanics / the Victoriaville Tigers. So those stats are combined. Consistently improving in everything is what I've seen in a lot of articles. He's improving a lot of his game, and that's good there. We'll see if he makes an impact in the NHL this season. I doubt it. He'll probably spend the season with Providence, if not in the QMJHL still. But yeah, Brunet may take some time for him to develop. If you guys watched my Oilers preview, I talked about Max Wanner. I feel like he's in the same spot as Wanner, where he's going to take a while to develop and still is not fully there yet, because he was only drafted about a year ago. The goalie prospect is someone that Bruins fans have been very high on. It's Brandon Bussi, goalie from Sound Beach, USA, 6'5", 209 pounds. He's undrafted, so he was a really good pickup there for Boston there as a goalie, and he played great in the AHL there with Providence. 32 games played, 22, 5-4, a 2.40 goals against average, and a .924 save percentage. I'm going to be honest, we've done about 6 or 7 of these prospect pool overviews. We've looked at a lot of different goalies. I think Bussi's probably the best goalie we've seen so far. He has the best numbers, and probably has the best potential too. What I would imagine is, and I know there's a lot of speculation around Ullmark and Swayman, and I don't believe Swayman's signed yet. I might be wrong. Everything's a blur for me now, but there was speculation around Ullmark and wanting him to get traded, and honestly, I don't see that really happening just yet. So I think Bussi might have another year of development in the AHL, but I think he definitely will come up and play some NHL time. I don't see him not. I think it's very possible that he does come up and play a few games in the NHL, or if not, becomes the backup somehow if something happens between then and now. But, of course, we'll find out. But anyways, the other prospects that are in this pool, there's not a lot of them, honestly. And as I said at the beginning of the video, it's a very dry pool. There isn't many players that are like, oh, eye-opener, like they're like only Lysell. That's the only one that I could really say that people really know. Lohrei's a good underrated guy. Merkulov's a sleeper. But apart from that, there's nothing much there. You got forward Dan Zlakamus, forward Mark McLaughlin, forward Johnny Beecher, and forward Brett Harrison. Beecher and Harrison, I'm a little bit higher on than others. I think they will be good, but they didn't crack this. They didn't crack the main 5, because I wanted to talk about these 5 guys because they're guys that people kind of get slept on and they're unfamiliar to other fans. So yeah. That's the prospect pool overview for the Boston Bruins. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and down below. I really appreciate it. I'm not sure who we're doing next, but I think we're doing the Capitals. I'm not too sure, but I don't think I'm making one tomorrow. I'm busy tomorrow, so I'm going to make a video tonight for that. But anyways, thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.